center of the jungle. Scared. Oh shit. Wiaka. What's up, bro? Damn, so happy to see you, man. What's up, bro? Say hi to the people.
What up, Facebook?
How you been?
Good, man.
Good? When'd you get here?
About 2.
2? Awesome, man. We just got here ourselves. How's it going? Oh, yeah, a lot of people. Where's is Happy here too? Not here today?
I think they're on their way. They stopped at that camp last night.
The camp?
Iowa.
Oh, Iowa. Oh, I think, yeah. Cool.
Where you stay?
Downtown somewhere. If not, we're staying in another spot down like outskirts of DC. Something by the Hilton somewhere. Nice spot though. Nice spot though. I'm gonna go check it out over here though, man. Yeah. Nice seeing you though, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed you, man.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Wiaka, everybody. Surprised to see him. I haven't seen him in like about 3 months. But we're here over here at the Occupy Washington Monument campgrounds. Now I'll show you guys how it looks. So the reason why we're here, I'm pretty sure you've seen everyone's live feeds. We're here to voice our concerns, bring a lot of attention to what has happened to us in Standing Rock up there, and all the live feeders, everybody, all the water protectors are here. We'll be running into a lot of people that, you know, that came out of this a better person, you know. So let's see if we go around and see some familiar faces. And I already see Ernesto Burbank.
Oh, you know what? That's true. Yes.
Autographs.
Dan's hyping it. He's hyping it. Dan's hyping.
Do a live feed of him doing a live feed.
What's up, peoples?
Yeah. All right.
How you been, Dan?
Good, brother. Good to see you.
Nice to see you again, bro. I like the necklace, my friend. I like the necklace. Hey, everybody. Say hi, Dan.
Oh, Yate. Hey.
Yeah, Yate.
My name's Danny Napkin. I'm also doing a live video here too as well. So good to be here in Washington, D.C. with our brothers and sisters and supporters. And I know that a lot of people still coming in, so drive safely, everybody. And we're going to have a great time tomorrow. The weather is just right. It's really good.
Apparently, we're supposed to have some snow tomorrow.
That's what I hear. But
So, hey, well, we're in dirt blizzard, so
yeah,
you're welcome to snow.
This is the people here from Oceti, Uyate.
Basically, it's like all of Oceti. It's like the camp came back
Yeah.
together, but all occupying Washington.
It
You
is.
see everybody.
Some people I haven't seen for a long time in camp are here.
Yeah,
And some people look a little different because they're not all bundled up.
yeah. Shedding off a few
Yeah,
of all those
yeah.
clothes. So you guys take care. You guys spread the message, share the feeds, and share the love. You know, we're all here in unity still. We have not broken apart. We just gathered back together and all around through the whole networking of nations. Ain't that right, Dan?
Yes, sir. You want to tell them who you are? So
I'm Shiyé, I'm Dean, I'm Standing Rock, I'm half the net, I'm from Navajo Nation too as well. I've been here supporting, I've been providing people with footage, live feeds, personal stories, and drone footage. Drone to be wild, remember that one?
These two troublemakers. Hey, what's going on? Hey.
What's up, Ed?
How's it going, brother?
Apparently we work for the CIA, bro.
We do.
We work for the CIA.
CIA
apparently.
bros.
So,
Yeah.
how you been, bro?
We didn't get all the tools though. We need all the tools.
I know, right?
We
fresh with this.
We got messed up. What up, Dan? Hey, how you doing, brother?
and made it here.
To the people, for the people, we are here for you.
Good to see you. Yeah, I saw you right before I got arrested.
Earlier we went to the senators and we voiced our concerns, and this guy made a guy choke up.
Ed
He
Higgins,
cried. He almost
chief
cried.
correspondent of Activate Now News.
And
I
got his card here. They actually cut off the live feed and did all kinds of stuff, but we're going to be back
Grand Forks,
tomorrow.
North Dakota.
Yeah, we're not going to let now.
From
From my understanding, these people want to keep it in the ground, quote unquote. But me being from Oregon, they just passed a pipeline. So Jeff, we need results, bro. You talk about keep it in the ground, but you're passing a pipeline to my home state. I need fish, bro. I need land preservation, please. For the people, help the people. Thank you.
Tracy's here.
Where's Trace at?
He's here somewhere.
This is cool. Just kind of walk around.
We're gonna walk around and reunite with all our fellow brothers.
How
and
long did it take you
sisters.
to get here?
Shit, we took a cab.
Nice.
Jana's like, I'm gonna walk, and she's already here somewhere too.
Nah, because Janet knows all the bootleg cutties. Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful choker.
It's Rachel Falcon, all the way from Haskell. What else is here? Let's see. We got Tia.
Hi.
State where you're from, and let them know what you said to the senator.
A lot of things. I'm from Manitoba, Canada, Ojibwe Nation, and I said to the senators that we are here to stay. We're going to stop those pipeline, and they better be with us and help us. And I think they will, actually. They were very responsive. They were really nice to us. They really listened to us. We'll see what that do. But we believe, we stand.
Yeah, we stand united.
United.
What's up, little man?
Say hi.
Say power to the people. In French. Yes.
Next generation. Malika,
Yes.
get in there. Stand in rock, stand.
Who else is? Oh, is that prolific?
Let's go. Yeah.
You see prolific?
Let's go, let's walk. No.
I see you all over Facebook, aren't you?
I'm Dean. Nice to meet you.
Are you?
Shiyé.
Yes, that's who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah.
State your name.
Antonia Waibara. I'm from Sioux City, Iowa. And
Sioux City, Iowa.
I'm Ho-Chunk in Yankton Sioux.
Yankton Sioux.
Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Glad you're here. Come to
I've been to
DC.
Standing Rock a couple times already too.
Yeah?
Yep. And
Take pictures and
spent the weekend there with my kids and took them up to, back in
awesome.
September.
So how do you feel about this whole Occupy Washington? I feel like Oceti never left.
Yep, that's right.
We're all here.
And we just came over here.
We came over. We're actually came over their lands now.
That's right.
You know,
That's
if you look
right.
at about it like that.
And what gets me is, they still think that they were gonna make us extinct, and they're still trying to, but it's never gonna happen. There's too many of us.
Yes.
We're look at us. We all came together. So many of us.
A world united. We brought all the
Yes.
colors of all the races of the whole world to unite as one for the cause of the good of this world.
And I've met so many beautiful people during the time there and here, and people have been put in my path for a reason. And I'm getting just so many good feelings from being here, even though we're here trying to resist and stand up against the cult, just everything that we've been through, and they're still trying to do this to us, and it's just not right. And I wouldn't even be here. My grandmother died, and my grandpa died fighting for my grandmother to stay alive so she could escape to Canada during the Little Bighorn battle. And my grandpa was 3 weeks old, and she got away, but my great grandpa was killed protecting her while she took off. And if she didn't get away, I wouldn't be here right now.
Wow.
That's my Yankton
That's
Sioux grandmother.
preservation
Yes.
of life.
Yes.
That's why we fought.
Yes.
All our ancestors fought to preserve life, and
right.
that's us. That's where we come from. And
Yeah.
now we're doing the same thing for our
That's right.
children. and it's a beautiful thing, and we're gonna stand here.
Are you?
But it's truth, you know.
It's true.
Because who's gonna step out of light into the darkness to face corruption of our people? Because we need to address that, and the only way to address that is we gotta dwell and deal in it. And a lot of our indigenous people are scared to step forward.
You have to step up and stand up.
Yeah.
Stand up and keep standing.
So I've gotten quite a few negative feedback from the people of my tribe that I'm putting people on blast, but I'm doing it for the preservation of our generations to come and to educate.
Everybody
people.
has their own, opinion and their own freedom of speech. And so I believe, if some people don't like it, they don't have to agree with it. They don't have to read it. That's fine. But everybody has their own opinion, and, that's just the way it is. And mostly everybody I met, though, is pretty much for us, with us. There's not too many people I've met that, was negative,
For me, I've been kind of converting a few trolls. And they do understand the side that I'm talking about, and that's a great thing for me. Is I got two people to actually agree with that. Not to agree that to fight against this pipeline, but to preserve life and to have all sides equal. To have both sides understanding. So I think it's a good, powerful message that even the enemy can come to the side and at least understand and respect that much.
Yep.
So.
And both, my Ho Chunk side and the Yankton Sioux side, we all suffered. Everybody suffered. My Ho Chunk side, my Choka is Chief Grey Wolf of the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska, and his brother was Little Priest, and the last place he moved from, his tribe was Crow Creek Sioux Reservation, and they were freezing and dying and starving up there. And so he went to Omaha tribe, and Chief Little Priest went to Omaha tribe and got help, bought land from them, and that's what became of the Winnebago Reservation. And so when Little Priest went back to get to his people, the rest of the tribe, his family was froze to death. Here's my grandpa's brother, my Choka's brother, and so then when he came back, he got into a battle with the Ogalalas, and he ended up getting shot and died about a week later. Got shot 3 times, and then he told his brother, my Choka Grey Wolf, you got to have a powwow or a memorial for the veterans and the Company A Scouts. And so they did that. It's been 150 years they've been doing it now. Last year was the 150th anniversary. It's held every year, the third weekend or the last weekend of July. The Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska Memorial Veterans Powwow. And last year I was able to touch the pipe that my Choka Little Priest smoked out of the last time before he died. And I got to touch it and hold it, and they don't normally let the women do that. But because I was a descendant, they let me, and my granddaughters, all of us, we all got to touch it, and it was the best feeling in the world to do that. I just felt like I was touching his hand, reaching out to both of my Chokas. And so that was a very emotional time for me. And so I come from, both tribes, and I'm very proud of where I come from. And I'm also a quarter Scottish. My grandpa that stayed behind to protect his wife, he was a fur trader from Scotland, and he was married to a Sioux woman, my grandmother. And he gave up his life for his wife and his son, and here I am.
Preservation.
Yeah, that's
What
right.
the best feeling in the world is when two natives and any people in the world come together and spread that love and share it.
Oh yeah. No, it's very.
And it empowers every one of us.
It really does.
A lot better. It feels that we may be pitiful human beings in this world, but we are powerful.
We are.
Realize that we have so much power.
I don't know how I've even made it through life, because I was left as an infant. My mother left me because she was sick. When she was put in boarding school, she was raped. Just, all those horrible stories that happened to all of our mothers back in the day. That happened to my mother, but she never recovered from it. And she became an alcoholic, and she left me as an infant with all my other sisters and my brother and my dad, my stepdad. And my stepdad raised me knowing I wasn't his child, and later I found out, you know, who my real father was, and that's how I found out all my information about, you know, the Yankton suicide.
Wow.
And but my dad that raised me was my hero. You know, he took care of me. My mama left me because she was sick. She never recovered. She died when she was 42 from alcoholism, cirrhosis. She died alone in a hospital in Chicago. It's the most saddest thing in the world. I never got to know her, and but I love her, and I thank her for giving me life. And it's just it's hard. But you know, when I finally found out that everything, and I feel like I'm somebody now. You know, when I found out where my dad was from, and I already knew where my mom was from, but I never knew my dad. So now that I know both sides, I just feel like a complete person now. You know, I can tell my story.
Yeah.
Like I just told you.
You feel good about it because it empowers other people. Because this is about it. It's like we as indigenous people are oppressed by alcoholism, drug abuse, domestic violence. We're oppressed by all these things, but yet we're still here, standing here, fighting for the goodness of what we believe in for our generations to come. You know, that's how strong we are, and people got to realize that. You know, and it makes us stronger people.
That's right.
And but what keeps us strong is our roots, and you found that roots.
I found it. I did.
No matter how far they.
And I knew I was different. I knew I was different from the rest of my family because just I could feel it, and I looked different than all of them, you know. And all my other sisters are short, and they're half Mexican and Indian. My stepdad was half Mexican and half Santee Sioux. So they're all short, you know, and they all look Mexican. Me, I'm this tall, you know, kind of white-looking woman, and so I always knew I was different. You know, I just didn't know. And they never told me. They didn't want to tell me, you know, until I grew up, and then I found out. And now that I know everything, you know, I feel a lot better because I was depressed most of my life, not knowing. And now that I know, I felt lost. You know, I don't know if you ever heard of the split feather syndrome.
A little bit of it.
It's about, you know, when you grow up without not knowing anything about your roots and your heritage, you know, where you come from. You're taken away from your family, and most of the time it goes towards the, you know, kids that were taken away and adopted out. I wasn't taken away, but my 6 years old, and they made her iron for 3 days straight. 3 days straight, standing there ironing. And finally a father came and found her and rescued her, a priest. But it was the nuns that did it at this boarding school she was at. I don't know which one it was, but she said that she will never iron to this day. She will never touch an iron to this day because of that.
I think in a way it's what we all suffer is what we call PTSD, and there's certain things that trigger it.
The words that she put into my head I'd never forget was, she said, you know what she said I was always lonely, cold, and hungry. Lonely, cold, and hungry. Always. She said I was always lonely, cold, and hungry all of my life in those places when she grew up. Yeah. She missed everybody. She was always cold and always hungry. And I'll never forget those words, and I just, you know, broke down when she told me that, and I'll just never forget it. And she's the strongest woman I ever met. You know, she cut my hair when my little sister died 3 years ago from cancer. And my hair is just as long as it is now, but she chopped it off and put it in a coffin with my sister and taught me, you know, the ways. And I never knew nothing. You know, no one ever taught me anything because I didn't grow up on the reservation. I grew up 20 miles away in Sioux City, Iowa, and so I hardly, you know, was down around my relatives to teach me anything. And so just as I got older, I've been reaching out to them and asking for guidance and to know what's going, you know, traditions and all that. So I'm learning finally, as old as I am. I'm 51 years old, and but I feel good because I'm teaching it to my grandchildren. I'm making their powwow outfits. I'm beading. I'm doing everything, and I'm teaching them that because no one taught me that. The nuns taught us that, you know, showed us it, but I felt we were forced by them, you know, so I didn't like it when I was a little kid, and so I didn't do it as I got older. But then when I had grandkids, I said, well, I can't afford to buy that stuff, so I had to start making it. So I do every year. I make all new everything, and I have 8 granddaughters, and 4 of them dance. So I'm pretty busy now until July, making powwow outfits and beading.
Happiness.
And you know, it's a good thing because it makes them so happy. And the kids, they go out there and they just dance their little hearts out, and they're dancing for the people, you know. And it's just a wonderful feeling to watch them and to see that I did that for them, and I taught them that. And then we're at my grandpa's powwow, you know, my choka's powwow, and that makes it even more special, you know. So yeah, it's really, it's awesome being Native.
I want to thank you for your really, really deep personal story, and
Yeah.
I felt it from my heart.
Thank you.
And it just shows that we can now tell our stories and feel good about it and let that all out of us
Yeah.
and make us free and get us
You
away
got
from
to.
that oppression. You know?
have to,
And get
because
it out of us.
if you don't talk about it and learn about it, you know, you're lost. You just feel like a lost person. You feel like nobody. You just don't know who you are and where you come from. So I feel complete now. Now that, you know, I know everything. And so I was drawn